Yo, what's up, amazing people? This is me, George Lampesis, and welcome to another amazing episode. So, today we're going to talk about something very important, in my opinion, something super important for course creators, coaches, and basically people who sell info product online, which is, of course, your funnels. And a lot of people do funnels, and so that's why the title of today's video is the funnel mistake that's costing you thousands, and how to fix it. And so, let's get straight into the video. And basically, most creators are building their funnels backwards. And this is a very common misconception when it comes to building funnels. Again, a lot of people have read, for example, Russell Brunson, right? The infamous, how do I even call him? Like funnel creator, right? He's basically everything at this point. And so they're basically spending hours trying to drive traffic to the top of the funnel, but then those leads reach the bottom. There's no conversions, which is a very big problem. And today's episode basically will talk about how you can how you can connect the top of the funnel to the bottom of the funnel when basically a lead comes in, right? Maybe it's a warm lead, maybe it's a cold lead, doesn't really matter at this point. What matters is that when it reaches the top of the funnel, it is ready to buy. It is in this buying decision mindset, and it trusts you. It actually knows what you're selling, and it wants to get rid of its problem, the prospect, right? It wants to get to the desired situation. And so the truth is that your funnel should work like a money machine. And this is true, like if you look around you, people are literally printing millions with their funnels. And they're just like you, but they just have something that you don't have in your funnel. And this is what we're going to discuss about today. So basically turning every lead into a maximum revenue. But if you're building it backwards, you're leaving thousands of dollars on the table. And in this video, I'll show you the right way to structure a funnel from starting from the backend and working your way up to so you can maximize your profits without wasting your money or time. And the problem is that basically most creators build their funnels like this. So they focus on the top of the funnel, which is, traffic, ads, social media, organic traffic, paid traffic, outbound, inbound, right, lead generation. And then they drive people to a basic offer that doesn't even convert sometimes, right? That often doesn't convert. And so, and basically there's no backend to maximize the revenue from people who buy. This is a big problem, and again, I'm going to get straight into it, but I want to add some comments to here. So, people do focus a lot on the top of the funnel, which is, of course, really good, but don't get me wrong, it's only the beginning of the, let's say, value ladder, as Russell Brunson calls it. And so, when you drive your people to a basic offer, for example, let's say it's a course, maybe it's a low ticket, a low priced item that you have to convert people from visitors, from prospects, from hot leads to customers. And of course, it doesn't convert really good. And then, of course, you don't have any backend way to maximize them, to maximize the revenue that you're getting. And this will sound very familiar to you. And the result is that basically tons of effort, little return, and most of the leads slip through the cracks because there's no system in place to make the most of each one. So, what if you actually flipped the script and started building a funnel from the bottom up? So, basically, let me walk you through the right way to structure your funnel. So, let's start with step one, which is, of course, build your backend, right? This is the most important step. So, the backend is basically where the real money is made. These are offers or strategies that maximize revenue from your existing customers. For example, it could be upsells, it could be some retention strategies, and of course, all of these strategies and upsells they focus on maximizing or increasing the customer lifetime value. So let's start with upsells. So basically, offer something that complements the main product. For example, a coaching package or maybe even a VIP version of your course. Retention strategies basically use some email sequences and exclusive bonuses to keep your customers engaged and buying from you again. For example, follow-up sequences very, very important, and cart abandonment sequences, which you of course don't really see them a lot in the course space industry, right? It's very common in the Shopify and the e-commerce, but they do really work good. A lot of people have implemented them and have seen a huge increase in their conversions. And so I'm telling you, you should look into retention strategies. You can of course combine a lot of strategies that other industries use. For example, as I mentioned, card abandonment sequences are really useful and very underrated. And of course, customer lifetime value. So basically, make each customer worth more than offering, worth more by offering high value packed upsells and cross sells. So a simple upsell can increase your revenue by 20 to 30% in the long term, of course, right? In the long term, in the long term. I can repeat that 3 times, sorry, I had to write it down. And so, step two is to create a mid-funnel system. So, what exactly is a mid-funnel system? Your Let's say that you build your backend, right? It's solid. It actually has something to upsell to. Maybe you created a VIP coaching. Now let's move into the middle of your funnel. So here we have email nurturing sequences and we have mid-ticket offers. So mid-tier offer, sorry. So by the email nurturing sequences, you basically all you have to do is to build trust, to share value, and to guide leads towards your main offer. That's the whole point of having a mid funnel system. That's it, to basically nurture leads and to convert them into cold prospects into warm prospects. Not leads, prospect is already somebody who is interested, but maybe he's on the fence. He kind of stacks kind of things. Do I really need this? Is the price good? What's the value? Basically, a lot of objections, a lot of false beliefs that you have to answer through your email nurturing. And of course, this makes a lot of sense, right? To put it here, it's some mid-tier offers. So basically, those are some low-priced products like 97. I would even call it 27, right? Let's be honest. Let's be honest. 27 is a very good price for a low ticket or a mid-ticket offer. And of course, you can have even your whole course here, like at the point where it all comes down to your upsell. Is your upsell 10 times more expensive? um that's actually for you to decide. So yeah, those are just some prices I put here, and basically that's the whole reason of having those mid-tier offers, is to convert those people, to those prospects, into customers. And so that gets people into your ecosystem, and this matters a lot because the mid-funnel builds all relationships with your audience. It basically warms them up for what's coming in the future, right? Your higher ticket sales. Step three is to drive traffic to your funnel. So basically, this is the top of funnel. This is the last step, and this is, I would even call it the most important step, right? Of course, each step of the funnel is very important, but you have to realize that if you have no traffic, you will have no data, you will have no statistics, you will have no money, you will have no conversions. Basically, everything comes from here. If you don't have traffic, you won't be able to improve and make more money in the long term. So let's focus on the top of the funnel, which is, I would even, it's the easiest one, right? It's the easiest because you need to just find out what's working and just constantly repeat it. And an example here could be lead magnets, right? The most amazing thing is to just have lead magnets. Create as many lead magnets as you can, basically freebies that solve a small specific problem for your audience, and make it as instant reward as you can. Basically deliver that reward instantly. An example could be again a checklist, a guide, or a free training, which could be an amazing webinar if you're doing webinars. And of course, traffic strategies. So you have to use your social media. Maybe you know how to do ads, then you do ads, right? Or you can combine both of them. And of course, collaborations, but collaborations are maybe a bit of a high level, more high end, to basically drive leads to your funnel. And so if you build your backend mid-ticket, sorry, if you build your backend and mid funnel correctly, even a small amount of traffic can lead to significant revenue. This is very true. And so, this is, I actually wanna comment on this one. Basically, as I mentioned earlier, the more traffic you have, the better statistics, the better data you will have on what you need to optimize, what actually works, what you need to leave as it is, basically, right? So always try to get as much traffic as you can. Squeeze out basically organic, right? Squeeze out the organic traffic you can get. And so there are some very common mistakes that people do, and those are the top three that I've noticed. So the first one is focusing only on traffic. Basically, without a solid backend, traffic won't convert into revenue. Again, traffic is very important. It's very, very important. But if you don't have a solid backend system that actually is proven and knows and is proven to convert, then people will just basically come out and just leave without um doing anything, right? They won't buy anything. Second one is ignoring upsells and retention, which is again a huge problem in the course creations industry. A lot of people don't want to get into the upsells because when it comes to upsells, it's of course something that needs to stand out in its value, right? It needs to have high perceived value and of course high actual value. And it all comes down to having some coaching offers, some one-on-one coaching calls, which a lot of people don't want to get into because again, they don't want to get the responsibility, the accountability of those. They just wanna stay and sell courses, which is of course pretty good, don't get me wrong. If it works, it works, but if you want to truly maximize the value or the lifetime value of each customer that you get, you need to start having something more expensive, which can be again your first coaching group that you launch. It's going to make you your first 20K just like that, I promise you. And so the next one is rushing to launch. So I actually had that issue with one of my clients, right, that I was working earlier. He was, I wouldn't call that impatient. We didn't really know where would it go, and so we were really excited to launch his course, and we basically hit a brick wall. Like that's the only thing we did. We hit a brick wall, and we realized that there were a lot of red flags that we ignored before going to the final launch, and so rushing to launch has been something very personal and impactful to me, and honestly, I wanted to add it here because, yeah, you need to realize that building a funnel, building that excitement, building that course, it all takes time. But the ROI is worth, trust me. You just need to realize that it takes a lot of time and you need to invest the time. To never rush. Like, I learned it the hard way. Never doing that again. I'm always taking my sweet time, building that ICP, right, building those funnels, doing this email list, building everything. And so let's have a small recap. So first of all, you have to start with your backend. Focus on upsells, retention, and maximizing lifetime customer value. Second is to build a mid-funnel system. Basically, use email nurturing and mid-tier offers to warm up your audience. As I mentioned earlier, use something very low ticket to convert a prospect to a customer, and then of course upsell them. And third one is to drive traffic last. So use lead magnets and traffic strategies to piece the final piece of the puzzle, which is of course getting those sales. And so if you're tried of sorry, this is a small pitch. I know, like, I'm not trying to be very salesy. Again, I want to be as valuable as I can to you guys. But again, if you're interested, if you're a coach or creator or a course creator, right, and if you're tired of wasting time and money on broken funnels, you can visit my website. It's down in the description, and check out my profit flow system. It's basically designed to help creators like you build funnels that actually convert, starting from the backend. And so if you're interested, which you probably are, because it's a very good system, and I promise you, if you're going to check it out, you're not going to regret it. It's linked down in the description, click it, and you can start turning your funnel into something, I don't know, like a money making machine today. And so thank you so much for watching. Have an amazing day, and catch you in the next one.